Okay. I think this is something that has to be talked about. So evictions. Eviction moratorium has run out. It ran out on July 31st. New eviction moratorium. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and see what NPR has to say. Issues a new eviction moratorium after a federal ban lapsed. Days after a national eviction moratorium expired. Issued a new, more limited freeze that remains in effect through October 3rd, kicking the can down the road. That's what the government does best. Like the previous order, the 2-month moratorium issued Tuesday comes from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. New ban on evictions covers parts of the United States that are experiencing what the CDC calls substantial and high spread of the coronavirus. The order, which cites the rise of the Delta variant, says without this order, evictions in these higher transmission areas would likely exacerbate the increase in cases. So basically, I do want to say this. I've gotten my shots, but it's amazing to me how quick people will become. It's amazing to me how people will become authoritarians. So-called libs will become authoritarian. It's just like, you need to shame people. You need to bully people to get their shots. Every single fucking and once again, it's been said where you'll bring up these stories that say, and like I say, I've gotten both my shots, so I can say this being a hypocrite. I can go ahead and stand on I can go ahead and die on this hill because I've gotten my shots. But people who have gotten their shots have tested positive for corona. But you didn't die from it though. You're not going to die. Oh, because more vaccinations. The thing is that people are just like, oh, science is great, this and that. This is the whole thing of, well, I guess pharmaceutical companies can do whatever the fuck they want then. Oh, but well no, you're just a fucking hypocrite. That's the whole thing. You love science so much and ignore the fact that science is beholden to shareholders. Ultimately, scientists are beholden to shareholders and beholden to people who give them, by their donors. So they're going to do what they want. I mean, I guess people say, I guess that doesn't exist. Or I guess people treat scientists like they're gods, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm getting off topic with that. The thing is, I'm just a spurg, and I think that this is going way too far. I don't care what you say. I think it's going way too far with this promoting of shots, but that's just me. So I guess we're going to kick the can down the road until October 3rd, and then we'll kick the can down the road again. Many of my Democratic colleagues chose to go on vacation early today rather than staying to vote. Once again, this is so tiring. Democratic colleagues choose to go on vacation early today rather than staying to vote to keep people in their homes. I'll be sleeping outside the Capitol tonight. We've still got work to do. That's a nice gesture, but that's just a gesture. Frankly, that's not real life, honey. Ooh, Lord have mercy. You look like a man. I'm sorry, I was looking at Cory Bush. I was like, oh, honey, you look like a man. Okay. During his remarks Tuesday, Biden reiterated the danger of the Delta variant. It now accounts for more than 80% of all current coronavirus cases in the United States, calling the current surge a largely preventable tragedy. We have the tools to prevent this rise in cases from shutting down our businesses, our schools, our society. Once again, this puts people at a huge disadvantage if you're trying to defend Joe Biden, where it's just like, Trump didn't, was against the shots and, all the squapolamine or whichever it was, and all this other stuff. The thing is that, well, how's Biden doing in getting rid of the virus? And they don't say anything. So, like I say, maybe when these folks get evicted, if there was an effective communist party or even a socialist party to tell people, hey, why don't you join us? We'll give you a home. We're going to teach you some stuff, this and that. If they're young enough, you can get them on your side and say, get ready for revolution. But once again, though, lefties in general, in my opinion, are great at one thing. They are great at alienating everybody who even loosely agrees that, yeah, this system sucks. But they are unwilling to talk to these folks, or they just label them as chuds or whatever the case may be. Now, I know socialists and anarchists are not this. I know. But just let's just say broadly, left-wing folks are so bad at this. They would rather argue and spurg out over it, arguing about Lenin or Kropotkin or whatever. They would rather argue about that than get people organized in any practical way. You'll notice this, right? The protests that occurred in 2020. Did you see the PSL out there? I don't recall that. Did you see the DSA out there? Maybe some members were out there, but was the official DSA out there helping to say, hey, let's not just burn down random stuff. Let's go ahead and actually do something specific? You know, no. Did you see CPUSA out there? No. Maybe they were. Maybe I can be proven wrong. Please do. I always say that in my videos. Please prove me wrong and say, well, what about this? What about that? Okay. I would love you to prove me wrong, but I don't think I'm proven wrong in that. In general, left-wing folks just want to LARP. They want to do their videos. They want to be like Jason Unruh and talk a whole lot of shit about mud chuds. But when it comes to actually doing something, they're like, I don't know about that. Or they would rather talk to rando LARPers who they loosely agree with. Who are just like, yeah, decolonization, bro. White folks should go back to Europe. But we're not going to force white people to go back. It's just, I don't know, it gets so tiring. It really does. It's just like, this is why people become like, far right type of folks, or they become like just vigilantes or whatever, because like you didn't give them anything. That's the problem nowadays with folks. There's not a whole lot of guidance. There was a time when, this goes with work, this goes with a lot of things, but I think I'll try to finish up on this point. There was a time when society, regardless of whether it's racist or whether it was bad or whatever, is that they guided you and they said you had to stick to these few things so that you can, get a good job, this and that. And they stuck by, and they stuck, and they made sure that you did what you were told to do. Nowadays, it's just like, well, do whatever you want, bro. Just do you, man. And because of that, you have a society that's just like, well, you don't want to be a fascist. Okay, well then tell me about what you want to do. Well, we're going to vote for the Democratic Party, and the Democrats are going to be like a wall. They're going to be a wall to defend us from the Republicans. They're going to be a dumb meat shield, basically. And then eventually we're gonna reform the system. We're not going to do revolution. No, we don't need revolution. We're not tankies, bro. We're not tankies. We don't want to do that. And you get disheartened. And it's one of the biggest things that exists today. People are disheartened. People don't have guidance. That's why I would say that there are people who look to Hitler. They look to Stalin. That's why they become tankies and become Nazis. And I know, tankies and Nazis are the same thing. But I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is that this is why people look towards Hitler. That's why they look towards the Nazi Party. That's why they look towards, the Soviet Union. They look towards Huey Long. At least Huey Long did make some genuine efforts. And his son did make further efforts, although he was more of a pragmatic politician and kind of went back and forth, but he was more of a realistic guy. He wasn't as great a speaker as his father, but I believe, I'm trying to think of his son's name. Let me see. Because Huey Long, even after his assassination, hold on. Hopefully the mic doesn't break up on me. There we go. Huey Long. And what was his son's name? Russell Long. That's it. Yeah, Russell Long. Russell Bill U. Long. Let's see here. How long was he in office for? So he was in office. He was a senator from Louisiana from 1948, December 31st, 1948, through January 3rd of 1987. So he was Senate Finance Committee, Senate Majority Whip. So he did a lot. Like I said, people leave out the fact that, yeah, Huey Long, and his family did continue on doing what needed to be done. I'm going to read about this because I feel like it's important to say that people will talk about Huey Long, but his son, Russell B. Long, did quite a bit. But let's go ahead and see here. Senate career. Entered the legal practice, so he was a lawyer like his father. He campaigned for the return of his uncle, Earl Long, to the governorship of Louisiana. Took office in 1948. When Earl Long took office in 1948, he appointed Russell Long as his executive counsel. Russell Long was elected in 1948 to the U.S. Senate vacancy created by the death of John Overton. Okay, let's go ahead and cut to the chase here. Long had an encyclopedic knowledge of the federal tax code. He realized that he could achieve his legislative goals most effectively by attacking his priorities as amendments to tax bills rather than sponsoring legislation under his name. For almost 4 decades, no single revenue measure passed through Congress without Long's influence. Led first major expansion of Social Security, 1956. So, that's something. Created the Earned Income Tax Credit, largest and most effective anti-poverty assistance program in the U.S. EITC boosted the incomes of 9 million women of color. Okay, let's not go too far now. But the thing is, though, I wanted to say this because even someone like, Russell Long was more of a leader than the folks that are out there today. What's AOC really doing today? She said, "Oh, the Democrats this and that," but now, even Jimmy Dore pointed this out. I know, Jimmy Dore, anger, because people have been manipulated to think that, Jimmy Dore, anger, he's an angry man, so we have to be angry at him because he's so nasty and evil. He sexually harassed somebody who promotes bullshit like Anna Kasparian. But seriously though, there are no real leaders. There are a lot of folks who pretend to be leaders, but ultimately there are no real leaders. There are, maybe there will be charismatic people. I think that there are charismatic people out there, but I think that they are too worried about trying to melt that bend into the system. I know my mom's talking in the background, but who cares? But the fact is, though, is they want to be able to conform to the system. That's what the words I was thinking. They want to conform. And because of that, they squander whatever potential they have. And that's unfortunate, but it's not surprising. Anywho, I think that's all I have to say on that. We're going to see how long it's going to take for Congress to actually do something about these evictions across the country. And you can blame landlords, you can blame all sorts of different people. But the thing is that this is happening. And it's just going to get worse. Anyways, hopefully y'all enjoyed that video. See you later. Goodbye.